Welcome back to Golden Greats. There was a time when families gathered around the television each week to visit the Barkley Ranch, follow stories of courage, and escape into the vast landscapes of the American West. But more than 60 years have passed since the Big Valley first aired. Most of the stars who brought this beloved Western to life are now gone, leaving behind only the memories they created for generations of viewers. Let's take a look at the Big Valley cast then and now. Nick Barkley was played by Peter Breck, who was born in 1929 in Rochester, New York. At 36 years old when the Big Valley debuted in 1965, he brought toughness, determination, and fiery energy to the Barkley family's strongest-willed son. Peter Breck passed away in 2012 at the age of 82. Throughout his career, he became closely associated with television westerns and remained a favorite among fans of classic frontier dramas. For many viewers, Nick Barkley represented the spirit of the American West, strong, fearless, and fiercely loyal. Though Peter Breck is gone, the character still lives on in memories of a television era that can never truly be replaced. Silas was played by Napoleon Whiting, who was born in 1910 in Louisiana. At 55 years old when the Big Valley premiered, he brought wisdom, kindness, and quiet strength to the Barkley household. Napoleon Whiting died in 2002 at the age of 91. Beyond the Big Valley, he enjoyed a long career in film and television, earning admiration for his warmth and dignity on screen. Silas was more than a trusted servant. He felt like part of the family. For many fans, his gentle presence remains a reminder of the characters who made the Big Valley feel like home week after week. Heath Barkley was played by Lee Majors, who was born in 1939 in Wyandotte, Michigan. At 26 years old when the Big Valley premiered in 1965, he brought strength, independence, and quiet determination to the mysterious Barkley brother. Nowadays, he's 87 years old and remains one of the last surviving stars of television's golden Western era. Beyond the Big Valley, he achieved worldwide fame through iconic roles that made him a household name for generations. For many fans, Heath was the outsider searching for his place in the family. His journey of belonging and acceptance still resonates with viewers who remember when Westerns ruled television screens across America. Victoria Barkley was played by Barbara Stanwyck, who was born in 1907 in Brooklyn, New York. At 58 years old when the Big Valley debuted, she brought strength, wisdom, and unwavering leadership to the head of the Barkley family. She died in 1990 at the age of 82 due to heart failure and chronic lung disease. Widely regarded as one of Hollywood's greatest actresses, she enjoyed a remarkable career spanning more than 6 decades. Victoria Barkley stood at the heart of the series, holding her family together through every challenge. For countless viewers, Barbara Stanwyck represented a generation of stars whose presence made television feel larger than life. Judge Lansbury was played by Harlan Ward, who was born in 1917 in Los Angeles, California. At 48 years old when he appeared on the Big Valley, he brought wisdom, authority, and integrity to one of the series' respected community figures. Harlan Ward passed away in 1980 at the age of 63 from cancer. Over the course of his career, he became a familiar face in westerns, dramas, and television classics of the 1950s and 1960s. Characters like Judge Lansbury reflected the values that many viewers admired in classic westerns. His presence helped remind audiences of a television era built on honor, responsibility, and justice. Blacksmith was played by Paul Sorensen, who was born in 1926 in Wisconsin. At 39 years old when he appeared on the Big Valley, he brought strength, authenticity, and rugged character to the frontier setting. Paul Sorensen passed away in 2008 at the age of 82. Throughout a long career, he appeared in dozens of westerns and television series, becoming a familiar presence to fans of the genre. Part of what made the Big Valley feel real was its collection of hard-working townspeople. Characters like the blacksmith helped recreate a world that many viewers still remember with fondness today. Dan Kelsey was played by Bing Russell, who was born in 1926 in Brattleboro, Vermont. At 39 years old when he appeared on the Big Valley, he brought toughness, charisma, and frontier spirit to the role. Bing Russell passed away in 2003 at the age of 76 after a battle with cancer. Beyond acting, he became known for his love of baseball and as the father of actor Kurt Russell. Bing Russell belonged to a generation of performers who helped define television westerns. His appearances remind viewers of a time when stories of courage, independence, and adventure filled the airwaves every week. The conductor was played by John Harmon, who was born in 1905 in Washington, D.C. At 60 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought experience, authenticity, and character to the world of the American frontier. He died in 1985 at the age of 80 after a long career in film and television. Over several decades, he became one of Hollywood's most recognizable character actors. Faces like John Harmon's helped make classic westerns feel alive and believable. Even brief appearances contributed to the rich world that viewers returned to week after week. Jared Barkley was played by Richard Long, who was born in 1927 in Chicago, Illinois. At 38 years old when The Big Valley premiered in 1965, he brought intelligence, composure, and quiet strength to the Barkley family's eldest son. Richard Long passed away in 1974 at the age of 47 from heart disease. Though his life was tragically cut short, he left behind a legacy through some of television's most beloved series. Jared showed that courage did not always come from a quick draw or a fist fight. His wisdom and sense of justice helped make him one of the most respected characters in the entire series. Eugene Barkley was played by Charles Briles, who was born in 1945 in Los Angeles, California. At just 20 years old when The Big Valley debuted, he brought youthful optimism and sincerity to the youngest Barkley son. Charles Briles passed away in 2016 at the age of 70 after a long illness. Although his acting career was relatively brief, his role in The Big Valley remains fondly remembered by longtime fans. For many viewers, Eugene represented innocence in a rapidly changing world. His character remains part of the family legacy that helped make The Big Valley one of television's most cherished westerns. Phil was played by Mark Tapscott, who was born in 1943 in California. At 22 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought youthful determination and frontier spirit to one of the series' memorable supporting roles. Mark Tapscott passed away in 1994 at the age of 51 after a battle with cancer. Though his acting career included only a limited number of screen appearances, he remains part of the show's enduring legacy. The Big Valley thrived because even smaller characters felt like real people living in the American West. Phil helped add another layer of authenticity to a world viewers still remember today. Wolgus was played by Charles Bale, who was born in 1931 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. At 34 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought intensity, strength, and a memorable presence to the series. Charles Bale passed away in 2015 at the age of 84 after a long illness. Throughout his career, he appeared in numerous television productions and became a familiar face to fans of classic westerns. Actors like Charles Bale helped create the rugged atmosphere that defined television's Western era. Their performances remain part of the memories many viewers still carry from their younger years. Spock was played by Walker Edmiston, who was born in 1926 in St. Louis, Missouri. At 39 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought character, versatility, and strong screen presence to the role. Walker Edmiston passed away in 2007 at the age of 81 from complications related to diabetes. Beyond acting, he earned recognition as a talented voice performer across television, animation, and radio. Many faces from The Big Valley may be gone, but their work continues to live on through every episode. Performers like Walker Edmiston helped create the timeless charm that keeps the series alive for new generations. The Baker was played by Joe Higgins, who was born in 1925 in Indiana. At 40 years old, when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought warmth, humor, and authenticity to one of the everyday characters who helped populate the frontier town. Joe Higgins passed away in 1999 at the age of 74 from heart failure. Throughout his career, he became a familiar face on television, appearing in westerns, sitcoms, and family dramas across several decades. Part of what made the Big Valley feel like a living community was its memorable supporting cast. Characters like the baker helped create the sense of home and belonging that viewers still remember. Mr. Simmons was played by Bill Quinn, who was born in 1912 in New York City. At 53 years old, when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought experience, dignity, and a reliable screen presence to the role. Bill Quinn passed away in 1994 at the age of 81 after a long illness. His career spanned more than 5 decades, with appearances in countless television series, films, and stage productions. Bill Quinn belonged to a generation of actors who helped shape the golden age of television. His performances remain a reminder of an era when Western dramas captivated audiences across America. Ryder was played by Pete Kellett, who was born in 1918 in Texas. At 47 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought rugged authenticity and frontier character to the series. Pete Kellett passed away in 1979 at the age of 61. A veteran stuntman and actor, he spent much of his career helping bring Western adventures to life on both television and film. Behind every classic Western were performers who made the frontier feel real. Pete Kellett was one of those faces whose contributions helped create the world that generations of viewers came to love. Dixon was played by Bruce Dern, who was born in 1936 in Chicago, Illinois. At 29 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought intensity, unpredictability, and powerful dramatic energy to the role. Nowadays, Bruce Dern is 90 years old and remains one of the most respected actors of his generation. Across a career spanning more than 6 decades, he earned acclaim in both film and television through countless memorable performances. Bruce Dern represents a rare living connection to television's golden Western era. For longtime fans, seeing him today is a reminder of how much time has passed since those unforgettable frontier stories first aired. Warden Garrick was played by Richard Anderson, who was born in 1926 in Long Branch, New Jersey. At 39 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought authority, confidence, and a commanding presence to the role. Richard Anderson passed away in 2017 at the age of 91 from natural causes. Beyond The Big Valley, he became widely known through numerous television classics and a distinguished acting career. Actors like Richard Anderson helped define an era when Western dramas dominated primetime television. Their work continues to evoke memories of evenings spent gathered around the television set. Pete McGinn was played by Lee Krieger, who was born in 1938 in California. At 27 years old, when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought determination, grit, and youthful energy to the series. Lee Krieger passed away in 2021 at the age of 83 after a long life connected to the entertainment industry. Though not among the show's biggest stars, he contributed to the rich world that made the series memorable. Many viewers remember The Big Valley not only for its leading cast, but also for the countless supporting characters who brought the frontier to life. Pete McGinn was one of those familiar faces who helped make the world feel real. Hutch was played by L.Q. Jones, who was born in 1927 in Beaumont, Texas. At 38 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought toughness, authenticity, and a rugged Western presence to the role. L.Q. Jones passed away in 2022 at the age of 94 from natural causes. A respected actor, writer, and director, he became one of the most recognizable faces in classic Western television and film. L.Q. Jones belonged to a generation of performers who helped define the Western genre. His work still reminds fans of a time when frontier stories were among television's greatest adventures. Sheriff Zach Fain was played by Kevin Hagen, who was born in 1928 in Chicago, Illinois. At 37 years old, when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought authority, fairness, and strength to one of the series' lawmen. Kevin Hagen passed away in 2005 at the age of 77 after a battle with cancer. Throughout his career, he became a familiar face in westerns and family dramas, earning admiration from television audiences. Sheriff Fane represented the values that many viewers associated with classic Western heroes. His presence helped reinforce the themes of justice, responsibility, and community that defined the series. Stacy was played by Don Chastain, who was born in 1935 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. At 30 years old, when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought confidence, charm, and strong screen presence to the role. Don Chastain passed away in 2022 at the age of 87 from natural causes. In addition to acting, he enjoyed a successful career as a singer and performer throughout the entertainment industry. For many fans, part of the magic of The Big Valley came from its ability to introduce memorable characters in every episode. Stacy remains one of the many faces that helped make the series feel rich and unforgettable. Simon Carter was played by James Gregory, who was born in 1911 in the Bronx, New York. At 54 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought authority, confidence, and commanding presence to one of the series' memorable figures. James Gregory passed away in 2002 at the age of 90 from natural causes. Throughout a long and distinguished career, he became known for portraying powerful characters in both film and television. James Gregory represented the kind of dependable performer who helped define classic television. His work remains part of the era that many viewers still remember as the golden age of Western drama. Tom Wills was played by James Whitmore, who was born in 1921 in White Plains, New York. At 44 years old, when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought wisdom, strength, and emotional depth to the role. James Whitmore passed away in 2009 at the age of 87 from lung cancer. An Academy Award-nominated actor, he enjoyed one of the most respected careers in American film, television, and theater. For many audiences, James Whitmore embodied integrity and quiet determination. His performances continue to remind viewers of a generation of actors whose talent elevated every story they touched. Audra Barkley was played by Linda Evans, who was born in 1942 in Hartford, Connecticut. At just 23 years old when The Big Valley premiered in 1965, she brought beauty, warmth, and spirit to the Barkley family's youngest daughter. At present, Linda Evans is 84 years old and remains one of the few surviving stars closely associated with the series. Beyond The Big Valley, she achieved worldwide fame through some of television's most successful dramas. For many fans, Audra represents a treasured piece of their youth. Seeing Linda Evans today is a reminder that while the years have passed, the memories of The Big Valley remain as vivid as ever. Fred Madden was played by Douglas Kennedy, who was born in 1915 in New York City. At 50 years old when he appeared on The Big Valley, he brought authority, confidence, and a commanding screen presence to the series. He passed away in 1973 at the age of 58 by cancer. Throughout his career, he became a familiar face in westerns, crime dramas, and adventure series during television's classic era. Actors like Douglas Kennedy helped build the world that made The Big Valley feel authentic. Their performances brought the Old West to life and helped create memories that longtime viewers still cherish today. The frontier may have faded from television, but the stories and characters of The Big Valley continue to live on in the hearts of loyal fans. Tell us which cast member you remember most, and subscribe to Golden Greats for more journeys through the unforgettable stars and classic shows of television's golden age.